Hey, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on a really big deal for anyone serious about a career in cybersecurity. And that is, of course, the CompTIA Security Plus exam. So let's just jump right in. If you're even thinking about getting into the IT security field, you've got to look at this certification. Seriously, think of it as your golden ticket, your key to the front door. It's globally recognized and basically tells the world, hey, I'm ready for this. What it really does is prove you've got the chops. That you get the fundamental concepts of cybersecurity, everything from threats and vulnerabilities to managing risk. And really, at the end of the day, it's a signal to employers that you know how to protect what matters most to them, their data. So, okay, skills are great, but what about the payoff, right? That's the big question. Well, it's all about opportunity. We're talking about certified pros pulling in salaries upwards of $90,000. That's not just a certificate. That is a serious investment in your future.
All right, so what does this thing actually look like when you sit down to take it? Let's take a little guided tour inside the Security Plus exam.
Okay, take a look at the format here. It's not just your standard multiple choice test. And this is so important. You're going to face what they call performance-based questions. These are designed to mimic what you'd actually do on the job. So this exam isn't about just memorizing facts. It's about proving you can actually handle real-world situations. Big difference. So what are these questions really like? Let's pull back the curtain and look at a few examples so you can get a taste of what you'll be facing. All right, question 1. Here's a pretty typical scenario-based question. You're being asked to identify a certain type of threat actor, based on their motives and who they're targeting. This is a classic test to see if you really get the who and the why behind all these cyber attacks. It's not just about the what. Okay, now for question 2. See how this one digs a little deeper? This gets into the more technical, nitty-gritty stuff, specifically cryptographic concepts. You need to know what salting is. That's when you add some random data to a password before it gets hashed, which makes it way, way harder for anyone to crack. This shows you've really got to know your stuff, down to the nuts and bolts. And for our last example, we've got a super practical, scenario-based question. This one's all about social engineering, and I bet you've seen this before. It's a classic phishing attack. This is a perfect reminder that the Security Plus exam isn't just theory from a textbook. It's all about how you apply what you know to the kind of stuff you're going to see every single day in the real world.
So, feeling that challenge a little bit? Yeah, that's good. Because honestly, knowing what you're up against is half the battle. So now, let's talk about how to prepare like an absolute pro. This is your path to success.
Look, the absolute key to passing is to practice with something that feels just like the real deal. You want to mimic that exam environment to build your confidence and really nail the material. And honestly, a fantastic tool for exactly that is certificationexam.com. And what makes it so effective is that you get 2 really powerful ways to practice. First, you've got learning mode. This is where you get instant feedback, so you're not just guessing, you actually understand why an answer is right or wrong. Then, when you're ready, you jump into exam mode. That's a full-on timed simulation to get you used to the pressure and help you manage your time. It's the whole package. So what you're really getting is a complete, all-in-one toolkit. You've got an online web simulator, a huge bank of over 150 questions that are always being updated. And this is cool. You can practice anywhere with their mobile app. Plus, it has quizzes on all 5 exam domains and those tricky performance-based scenarios we talked about. Okay, so that all sounds great, but does it actually, work? Well, let's just say the results are pretty darn impressive. Let's look at the final step to acing your exam. The proof is right here in this number, an incredible 98%. That's the percentage of people who use their simulator and pass on their very first try. I mean, come on, that number really says it all, doesn't it? So there you have it. The path forward is pretty clear. You can even start with a free practice test over at certificationexam.com. Really, the only question left to ask is, are you ready to take that first big step into your new career?